About 50% of my neighbors are immigrants, minorities. It's diverse. But you can see, even as soon as you leave the blue bubble, that the image that you get of this MAGA cult, as you put it, when you actually get on the ground within the institutions, local churches, local schools, etc., doesn't actually exist in the way that people fear. You know, my kids and the kids for my neighbors, they learn about different cultures. They learn about the history of the United States, both bad and good.
Let me put this back on you, though, Chris. Like, are you not too afraid? Have you not hyped a little bit the impact of this stuff, the actual impact of this? Am I not guilty for doing that a little bit? I mean, is this really affecting how the next generation is going to understand their own country? Are we overhyping something that, in fact, if we just take a deep breath and let this fad dissipate through the academy and become exposed, as it is being exposed, as a bunch of poisonous dreck? Nonetheless, you know, maybe we're panicking too much. This is what
I don't think so.
Dish heads tell me all the time. Calm down, Andrew. You're getting too excitable about this. It's not that big a deal. It's just a process. You know, people like David Frum, or, you know, can tell me, look, it's just a part of the process. And in some ways, this kind of has to happen for us to return to some sort of liberal order, so that people of minorities can find a way to understand inequality that helps them understand their own dignity. I'm just wondering whether we too have not overestimated the danger.
I don't think so. And I think that if you ask that question retrospectively, there was a popular line of thinking that, you know, look at these silly undergraduates in grievance studies programs. They're going to graduate from college and be unemployable. And conservatives really just laughed at this and said, oh, the universities are crazy, but it's confined to the campus. As you know, more and more institutions have replicated this campus model. You're famous for talking about this. And then you start getting into the serious consequences of this, to the point where you're having public schools resegregating, offering amenities, spaces, classrooms, and programs segregated by race. You're having medical authorities and public health withholding the vaccines from white Americans, white men sometimes. And then you're having governing agencies that set actual public policy, adopting what were once laughed off as fringe racialist theories as their dominant operating ideology. And so this is really a public policy question. And I find it really absurd if you have the opinion that this is really poisonous dreck and it's being subsidized by taxpayers and implemented by public institutions. Shouldn't we then have reforms to those institutions? Shouldn't we then be writing new laws to rein in those institutions and guiding them back towards the public good?
And shouldn't we be concerned in so doing of unintended consequences of barging into curriculums, intellectual life, intellectual debate?
The assumption there, the assumption there is totally wrong, though. The assumption there is totally wrong. Barging into the curriculum. By just saying barging, you're worried about right-wing legislators barging into the curriculum. The curriculum is law. The curriculum is set by the legislature. If you're assuming that they are interlopers, you're already acknowledging the hegemonic dominance of left-wing ideology within the curriculum.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not saying they should be barging in. I'm saying that they should reassert their pre-existing responsibility and authority to shape the curriculum.